Why does my music not sound professional? Ooh. Hello my friends, let's do something very different and look into the YouTube Studio app. This is something you can get when you're a YouTube creator and run your own channel. You have the YouTube Studio app which tells you, for example, the top search requests. So let's exactly do that and let me see if I can come up with very spontaneous answers to these top search requests. If that sounds like fun, please subscribe to the channel and also activate the bell if you want, or not. I'm not your mom. So the first top search request is how to master sound design. Well, I think it means master sound design like in mastering sound design. And that's very different. Sound design for me is like all the noises we hear and special effects we hear in not so much in music but in movies. And also in games. And I think sound design for games is pretty easy because gamers tend to shut them down anyway after a while. There are many games you play like 100 or even 1,000 hours. I played Ark Survival Evolved and Satisfactory for more than 1,000 hours. And listen to especially the soundtrack for such a long time is quite annoying. So in games you can generally also set up the volumes of the music and the sound effects individually. In movies it's way more complicated, I think. The soundtrack and sound design and spoken voices of the actors, this all has to work together. And the special thing in movies is that there is a very big dynamic range in all the effects. We have the big explosion sounds and also the quiet whispering in a bedroom scene or something. And you don't want to have the whispering at the same volume at the explosion. This creates a very big dynamic range. But enough sound design for now. Let's talk about the next top search request. How to enhance audio quality. Well, I don't think it's so much about hardware problems like broken cables. I think it's more about that people don't know how to record, on which level they record an instrument or a microphone. So you don't want to record at a very low volume with only little peaks because when you turn them up, you will also turn up the background noise. Well, and another problem, you have no idea about frequencies and how you can mix everything together. And the next request is how to use sounds in Ableton. I have no idea about Ableton, but I assume it works the same way like in other DAWs as well. Also, what is sounds in this request? Sounds can be everything, so I can't answer this in a better way. But how to make ambient music. Oh, this is something I want to cover on my channel in the future because I think ambient music is a very interesting and also important topic. There must be a reason that there are so many virtuosos so deeply into ambient music as well. So another reason to subscribe to the channel. Oh, this is a very general request. Music production tips. Well, my channel is already well filled with music production tips, so I don't need to talk about that right now. Next request is how to mix instrumental with vocal. Whoa. I don't record vocal music, but if I would do that, I would totally focus only on the vocals because that's the most important thing. And after that, I would add the drums and then I would add the bass. And also these three things, bass, drums and vocals, are most of the time centered in the mix. So they have to share the same room in the stereo mix. And after that sounds right, I would slowly start to add the rhythm instruments like rhythm guitar, keyboards and pianos, spread them a little bit. And in the last step, I would probably add a pad sound. I recommend don't start with a pad. It's the least important thing. I know it sounds beautiful, but it's the least important thing in a mix. And also it can mess up the whole mix, but I will talk about that in another video, I think. Next request, being a sound engineer. I have no idea. I don't consider myself a professional sound engineer. I mean, I do it all the time for many years, but also the question is very, very, very general. So let's continue with the next request, mixing different genres of music. Well, if you think about it, I think it's not so different, you know? There are some technical things like the levels and the LUFS and all such things. And in metal you want to have that loud, widespread guitars. And like I've said before, as soon as there are vocals in a song, it's no big difference if it's a pop song or a metal song. Because you want to turn up the vocals, and then maybe in metal you add more guitars. And the overall wall of sound is a little bit bigger than in a sweet pop song. How to record ambient sound? Well, that's very easy. Ambient sound, I think that's like atmosphere, ambient noises, like a train station and a thunderstorm or normal playground, street sounds. And I record such things on my phone. Very simple, with the recorder app on the phone, there's nothing wrong about it. And when the sound quality isn't good enough for you, well, I think there are tons and tons of better voice recorders, or how they're called. Next request is, wait, go back. Here we go. Sound system explained. Whatever that means. Shall I explain my sound system here? Oh, that's too embarrassing, I don't do that. Why does my music not sound professional? Okay, I have no idea. I have no idea because I have no idea what sounds professional to you. And also I think maybe your music doesn't sound so bad as you think. Many people have imposter syndrome and something like that. I always think they are bad, not good enough. And maybe that's not the case, if you look at it objectively. The personal taste is always very, very powerful. Just learn to trust your own taste and learn about some basic technical things. But still a question that's very, very hard to answer in this video here. So I have one more request. It's vocal recording techniques. Well, how can I come up with a short answer? Don't focus so much on plugins and all that stuff. Have a good microphone. You don't need to spend more than $100 in a good microphone. Have a nice and cozy room where you can record the vocals. So the room acoustic is relatively dry, but not dead. And also the singer can feel really comfortable. Also, you want to use a closed system headphone so that you don't have so much bleed, the sound that comes out of the headphone and goes into the microphone of the singer. And you totally want to make a proper sound check, guys. That's the most important thing, a sound check, sound checks. You want to reduce the background noise that's in the room, like the fan of the PC or rumbling stomping sounds when the singer is moving and dancing, and everything goes into the DAW at a very, very healthy level. And that's quite complicated with vocals. Vocals can be very, very dynamic. So I can't cover all of that right now. Only one more thing. You also want to have a good singer, okay? A good player on an instrument or a good singer is always more important than any technique and any plug-in or whatever. But I believe even if you're not a really good player or singer, you can still record some really, really good takes. It's hard work though, okay? But it's hard work all of the time for everybody. So let me know in the comments what you think about this video and all my answers I gave you here, my quick answers. Also, please don't forget to leave a like before you go. My name is Markus, you've been watching The Ground Noise, and I hope to see you soon in the next one.